Welcome to the probably most exciting of all CrossFit Canada podcasts, where we have multiple affiliate or former affiliate owners telling their stories. We have a really special episode today as we're recording this Monday, June 23rd. So hopefully getting it out by Friday. So as you're listening to this, it's pre-games, end of June into July, where we are going to discuss the sale of CrossFit. No, what we're actually going to discuss is who cares who buys CrossFit, and really center the conversation back to Canada and how we are unique and how we can still stay in control of what we have. So first, let's go around and introduce ourselves. We'll do question of the day, just like a class. So although all of you have been on the podcast, to the 5 people listening, name, affiliate, let's say how long you were an owner or have owned your affiliate for. And question of the day, let's go favorite CrossFit Games event. Could be from anywhere. And so what we're going to do is around the horn, down and up. So Kellyanne, you get to go first, and that gives everyone else a chance to think of their favorite events.
Thanks for that. You told me that you wouldn't put me on the spot. Karian Metzi, I own Deca CrossFit. It's going to be 7 years in September. So Deca is 14 years. So I'm definitely going to be the owner for half of the lifetime of Deca in September. And my favorite CrossFit Games event would be anything that we could actually do in a affiliate. So like, I know that Murph is not always like something that athletes really liked, but I always like to see them do some stuff that we can actually do. So I feel like the comparison of like, oh shit, they're very, very fast, instead of like when I see them do like heavy lifting that I can't lift, or like sled push and stuff like that, it's kind of hard for me to do like, oh yeah, like they're good. But when I see them do like a Murph or a Cindy or stuff like that, I'm like, okay, like they're very fit. So anything that is really like true CrossFit is the event I love the most. Yeah, so that would be it for me.
Cool. Kevin, you're up.
Kevin Wood, CrossFit Moncton. As of July 5th, it'll be our 17-year anniversary. So we've been around for a while now. Favorite event? My one and only times at the CrossFit Games was in 2022 in Madison, and the sandbag event was electric. It was just unreal to be in the room when Danny Spiegel finished the whole ladder. Like, it was crazy. So that was my favorite event.
Mike.
So Mike DeBover, I used to own CrossFit YUL in Montreal for about 12 or 13 years, I believe. And sold it just recently. Now I work for SpEp, and my favorite workout at the CrossFit Games is not really a workout. It's more an experience that I lived. It was in 2012. I was in Carson, and the crowd was counting with Camille Leblanc-Bazinet doing her pull-ups to finish Fran. And when you have 10,000 people counting with the judge, it's insane. And it's the community that is around it that marked me. And it's just beautiful to see that, and especially when it was Camille going, and you're like 2012 super fan. It's awesome.
Cool. Jocelyn.
Jocelyn Riley, CrossFit Brio in Saskatoon, which we opened in 2008. So that means also coming up on 17th anniversary this year. When you asked that question, what popped into my head, I don't know why, but it was the obstacle course in Madison. I think it was 2017. I was there in person. We had an athlete competing in the Masters that year. And I just remember thinking what a wild spectacle it was that Rogue had hauled in not only the entire obstacle course, but all this sand and just set it up in what a few days earlier had been an empty parking lot. I just thought the spectacle of being able to pull something like that off was amazing. And that all the athletes in all the divisions did the same thing. I thought it was super neat.
And Matt Spencer, CrossFit Aurelia. It'll be 6 years this September for me, so just a year behind Kadian. I'm gonna say two things because I can. Number one, an event would be Chaos. It was just such a cool event to have nothing known, not knowing what you're doing next, not knowing how you do it, just a pure do the work, and it helped that Patty Vellner won that event. But also the 5K 2 years ago was just a really cool experience. Talking about participating was to have the events or the athletes run that 5K route and then to just open it up to the entire CrossFit community in Madison who were at the games. I was there that year as well. I was also there the year Kevin was. It was just really cool. And then we all got to log our scores. It was one of the, I think, raddest experiences that CrossFit has done. So kicking things off, let's take it back to kind of the early days of CrossFit, anywhere between 2008 to 2012. For those listening who don't know what those times were like in terms of being an affiliate owner, want to kind of hear from Jocelyn, Mike, or Kevin, just kind of painting that picture of what the early days were like as an affiliate owner in Canada, but then as well, like what you either did or didn't get from HQ and all that stuff. Whoever wants to break the ice.
Kev, you can go first.
I'll tell you what we did get: a Christmas card in April. That was it.
We had two Christmases.
Yeah. So it was just the wild west. Like there was very little support. The only support that we did get was on the old CrossFit message boards where we were just talking to each other and finding out like, what are you guys doing and how do you do this? And then within the ownership itself. So I took it upon myself to mobilize the maritime affiliates, and I had them all over at my gym once and just said, let's grow this brand regionally as opposed to just working individually on our own. So that was way back in 2009, I think. So yeah, not much from the top, but more from the ground up.
Yeah, I'd agree. Out here in, Western Canada, the old Canada West regionals days, all of the affiliate owners, we knew each other or knew of each other at least. And there was this loose network of just seeing how other people were doing things, and everything from how's your facility organized to how are you running your training programs? Do you have a competitive group or not, or a kids program? And just that it's, belonging to a training community, but without necessarily a coach leading anybody. You're just trading best practices. What we would get from HQ was the CrossFit Journal and the videos. And my husband and I and our affiliate, every new journal article that would come out, we would pore over it for the week. We would try to put things into practice. We would watch all the videos, try to learn from subject matter experts, just because feeling like being out here in Saskatoon, we're like pretty far north, pretty remote in Canada. We weren't part of that main, hustle of CrossFit culture, and sort of grew out of California basically, and then up the West Coast, but just trying to stay as connected as we could to the core of it and learn from everyone that we could. And even though they had no idea who we were, we felt like we knew, Boz and Todd and Annie and all the people from the videos. And yeah, just tried to, like Greg always said, pursue excellence and try to get better and be ruthless in your evaluation of your weaknesses and try to attack them.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, for me, it was
journal was great. I printed out every journal article and had a binder full of them. So
yeah, and you'd keep your level 1 into a paper piece, and it was awesome. I didn't expect nothing when I paid my affiliation, and never expecting anything, because that's not what you're paying for. You're paying to respect the method, and that's what you're doing. And it was awesome just to see what how the brand was growing. From the CrossFit Journal to athletes slowly going to the CrossFit Games and bringing it back to the country. It was just, I remember those days where Tammy won, and then she was like a superstar, and then Michel Letang came up, and then Albert came in, and then you could actually talk to these people and exchange with gym owners, and it's still the case. We just need to make an effort to show that we are all together, and that's it was some people say it's the good old days. I think it's still the good old days, you know?
For sure. Well, and so Mike, you came in 2011, right? Is when you affiliated. Yeah. So that would have been what was that the first official year of the Open or second? But right. And so almost we're now starting to say like, okay, CrossFit is now introducing some sort of season that we can be a part of. But then for you specifically, you also had the unique aspect of the support of Reebok, being a Reebok CrossFit YUL. What was that like, and how is that unique for you?
Well, at first I was a bit afraid of Reebok because I didn't want them to impose anything on us. And I was like, CrossFitters, like we could do whatever we wanted and we could, exchange best practices like Kevin was saying. And I didn't want them to dictate something and that they were not going to do that. So that's what, was reassuring. They believed in me back in 2011. I was 29 and it was just incredibly awesome. But the message that they had was to unify everybody, and obviously with the goal of promoting Reebok up front. We got called back a few times, not by we, it's like more of the Reebok affiliate by Greg Glassman, saying, hey guys, let us do things, which was absolutely right. But it was really propulsing CrossFit on the scene, and I think it's a good thing that happened to CrossFit, and for the positive, what they did together was great for everyone, and it created businesses, it created opportunities for others, and more people saw what we were doing, understood what we were doing, and it helped out the community, I believe, for the most part.
Yeah, and going back still a couple of years back to Kevin and Jocelyn, part of the element was you had to travel a little bit more, right? And so Kevin, you were talking about was it CrossFit Fredericton was a big part, and then Jocelyn, you had to go to Calgary, didn't you, to CrossFit Calgary, to Brett Marshall's gym to for your level 1?
So I did my level 1 in Calgary, but at a place that no longer exists. It was called True CrossFit. Okay. And then level 2 at CrossFit Calgary.
Okay.
The old level 2.
And then Kevin, talk about getting together with CrossFit Fredericton when you first affiliated.
Yeah. Fredericton was the first one in the Maritimes. And when I saw them pop up on the map, I'm like, whoa, there's one close by. So it's only about an hour and a half drive away. I saw it on the message board, I think, that they were doing a CrossFit Total event. So I just asked if they needed help, volunteers loading weights and stuff. So I went down, chatted with them like for 2 hours after the event was over. They were more than welcoming to have me in and answer all my questions. So it was that community support that helped me develop my own business. And, I wouldn't be here without them. So I'm eternally grateful for the Bainbridges for getting me to where I am. The first level 1 cert that I had to do, though, was way down in the butt end of Maine. So it was at the Maine State Police Academy. And that was an experience. The hotels down there were not 5-star, that's for sure.
Not quite in Maine, yeah. And I wish Paul McIntyre was able to make it, but he shared when he was on the podcasts, not to tell his story for him, but when he hosted his first level 1, he actually asked CrossFit Toronto for all of their equipment so he could host the level 1. They had to shut down for the weekend, give him all the equipment, and they set everything up. And so it was just that kind of theme of collaboration that, is really knitted together those early days and kept them going from there. But then kind of thinking additionally was, I feel like there was the bird gets pushed out of the nest to learn how to fly aspects of it, where, I can't speak for Greg Glassman. I don't know him. And so I'm not close to him, but for those who don't know, he is a very staunch libertarian, and libertarianism is kind of do what you want. You're free to do what you want as long as it doesn't affect me. And then his aspect of excellence, the pursuit of excellence will kind of if you have free markets and libertarianism and excellence together, should solve all problems. I see in some head nods. How does that resonate with anyone?
I just remember the journal article about it.
Yeah.
It showed money, and if you are only going towards money, you can make a lot of terrible decisions along the way and burn a lot of bridges. But if you aim your target towards excellence, the money will follow that. And that spoke to me. It's like, keep your bathrooms clean, create positive relationships with your coaches and your members. Like that's the point. The point isn't to go for the money. That will come if you focus on those other things.
You say it so well. I mean, it's the care that he was saying, like we were talking about this, like care, and the rest will follow. That's the best business advice I've ever received, ever. It's, and the care goes like the bathroom, quality of coaching, caring about your four walls. We saw in the West Island of Montreal there, we saw a few affiliates pop up. And so it's scary, obviously. You're like, oh man, there's one down the street. And you're young, and I was young, and I thought they were against me. They were not against me. They were with me. And I'm like, oh, man, I got to use the leverage of all the affiliates. It's much better. And it worked. It's care about what you're doing for your members, help out the other affiliate owners if you have conversation with them. But that's what Glassman was saying. And he's right. He's right. So like we need to bring back the care, and like we all have, like people say that we can't teach care because it's a hard thing to teach, and it's hard because it's already within us. We already have it. Some people are just a bit better than others to express their care. All we need to do is help out the coaches, the owners, or whoever like is in the field, to show the spark of caring. And we're in that, Bergeron, we're saying it, that we're in the business of relationship with people. We just use thrusters and pull-ups. And if it has an impact on their health, at the end of the day, that's what we need to focus on. And then obviously a byproduct would be making money and making a living out of it. It's just focusing on money it won't work.
Well, and as I think what you're saying too, Mike, is you can't teach care, but I think there are ways to express it that exist outside of, because maybe someone isn't as strong on the people person side of things, right? Like if you look at foundations of effective training, maybe their presence and attitude isn't great, but their care is expressed by lesson planning, right? So as an affiliate owner, maybe you can express care by updating your CrossFit directory page with pictures of yourself and coaches, and use that, and then steal them and put them on your website because it looks great with the little credential badge below. But Jocelyn, you were nodding as well. Do you have any thoughts to add to that?
I remember the early days in the discussions getting affiliate owners to understand what affiliation was, that it wasn't a franchise. There was no territory protection. There never was going to be. That wasn't what we were doing. CrossFit HQ was not going to dictate, Greg always used to say what color you paint the walls and what time you open and what your programming is. All of that was up to the affiliate owner. And that someone could open a gym 200 meters down the road from you. And that if they're doing a better job than you are, and the free market decides and customers go there and not at your place, then that business deserves to thrive. And that putting artificial territory protections in was not going to make CrossFit gyms better overall. That free market competition, pursuit of excellence was what was going to, the rising tide that would lift all boats. But in the beginning, there were people that thought it was unfair that someone was allowed to open a CrossFit gym right down the road from them. Like, well, step your game up then.
Yeah, I'm the third owner of CrossFit Aurelia, and James Gordon started CrossFit Aurelia, and then Barrie, Ontario is 20 minutes south. That was his second location. It was about a week before I joined CrossFit Barrie, someone literally stood up at the end of the 11:30 class and said, "Hey guys, our affiliate's opening next week, just one block over. So our rates are going to be a little bit cheaper. So anyone who wants to come with us is welcome to." So you want to talk about fair? Obviously, that didn't help the relationship between those people, but it was the Wild West. And I'm interested to hear from you guys, because I think we can sit and point the fingers at things like free markets and excellence and whatnot, but there's a subtext of personal responsibility that lies when there are no rules, so to speak. It's like, I'm responsible for my business, my community. I don't get to point the finger at all these other things. So how does that personal responsibility as a business owner come into play? And I mean, especially when it comes to like long-term success.
I could go with that. I feel like in the last couple of years, like we saw a lot of affiliate owners just dropping the affiliation. And every time I wasn't that surprised, just because of like, they weren't proud to be like with CrossFit anymore. And I feel like they didn't see what CrossFit brought them to. They just thought they did everything. And then their attitude towards different affiliate owners or in competition and stuff like that, like it showed that their heart was not there anymore, and that everybody was competition and CrossFit was not doing anything to help them. And during those years, you always had like those kind of people, and then the other one super excited to help new affiliate owners, super excited to be part of something bigger, super excited to just like be present to different events. So I feel like Greg Glassman having confidence with like everybody can run an affiliate. And like, I think it was just a little too much in terms of like, not everybody was doing it properly or for the right reason. And I feel like because of that, it didn't help that much the brand, just because a lot of people had CrossFit in their hand and didn't do what they were supposed to do with it. So just like taking care of the methodology and the coaching, like for so many years, and still we go in CrossFit gym and it's not like what we would expect as who is coaching and how the methodology is like taught in their CrossFit gym. So I feel like over the years, there was a lot of affiliate owners that were still proud and still like all of you guys here, like still super happy about it. And like, yes, there's a new affiliate, let's help them. And like, we'll be there, we'll cheer each other on. And then you have like the other part where it's like, why is he opening a gym? Like, why is not CrossFit stopping that? Why is this? Why is that? So it's kind of a lost cause for what I think. So I feel like it was a good thing that everybody could open an affiliate, but at the same time, I think it didn't help that much the brand to let anyone open a CrossFit affiliate. Which
I think what popped
having the level 2 is better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As you're saying that is people that affiliated from a taking perspective. I want to throw this brand on my gym and I want CrossFit to send me referrals, and people should be just like tripping over themselves to get in my door because CrossFit's going to do this, this, and this for me. It's like a taking mindset versus if you affiliated your gym as a caretaker mindset, to be like, I'm a caretaker of this methodology. I'm a caretaker of my community. I'm going to keep one little bit of this flame going in my sphere of influence the best that I can, because when you see the magic of CrossFit and how impactful it is and how it changes lives and how it has a multi-generational ripple effect through families and in communities. When people get healthier, they like, what's the line from our brand book? They can't help but make the world a better place. So if you view it from a caretaker perspective, you're like, I'm an affiliate owner because I'm going to take care of this methodology in my little way, my little part of the world. Mm-hmm. And I think if you come at it from that perspective, then yeah, you preserve the methodology, you care for your people, you keep your bathrooms clean, you want to help other affiliate owners do the same and be successful in their role of taking care of what we got going on.
Yeah,
if you view it as just something as like how it's going to benefit you, that's not it.
Yeah, and you like still see it in terms of like even new affiliate owners. Even new affiliate owners now. The discussion I have, like they just like open up, like I want to be like open an affiliate, and then you have a conversation of like, yeah, of course I'm going to be a CrossFit affiliate. I love CrossFit and everything, and then you have the other conversation of like, well, I just want to know like what does being an affiliate is giving me, and I'm like, well, we're not going in that good conversation, you know. So it's still something that is happening, and I feel like having the level 2 and a little bit like that the affiliation is a little bit like higher in cost, I feel like that is helping to kind of separate who's actually going to do a good job and like taking care, and who just wants to take whatever is best for them, you know. Sorry, Mike. You
Yeah.
can
Well, in my opinion, like if you only get the affiliation for your business and be recognized by your customers, I don't think that's the right way to go. I think that if you get the affiliation and it's not just a respect to the method, I believe it's respecting the method, but I think it supports CrossFit training. For me, it's all about the education. I have the experience right now to be coaching 3 hours in a non-affiliate that used to be affiliated. And I mean, I love coaching and it's fun, but the CrossFit training and the CrossFit education is hard to maintain when you drop the affiliation. And I'm not saying that those are bad businesses. I think they're very different businesses. And I don't think the long term it's going to suit them. And I'm not afraid to say that here, simply because I've always been an affiliate, and probably will open a new affiliate very soon as well. But it's for me, it's all based on CrossFit education. I mean, like the red shirts and what CrossFit training is doing, they don't just fund CrossFit training through what we pay for a level 1 or a level 2. It's through the entire company, and they are those who are elevating the brand of CrossFit and making the method what it is, because it's super important to have CrossFit training and the education in front. And to me, it's hard at first. It was a challenge to understand exactly what the affiliation was bringing. But when you ask yourself the question as a business owner, it's simply because you're like, okay, what does it do for my business? Like it does the exact same thing than in 2011 when I opened. It does the exact same thing. So why would I drop it? And what was it doing in 2011? It was developing education. And I believe that education is number one. Like it has to be in the front. The standard is what we need to look for. And that's what comes with the affiliation. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a guarantee that every CrossFit gym you walk in, you're going to have spot on coaching, but there's a greater chance. I mean, like if you really absorb the level 1 and the level 2, and then you study for your level 3, potentially get your level 4 one day. I mean, is it essential to go that way? No, but if you are actually learning and processing those information that you're able to give back to your customers, those people, that's how you care. That's your tool as a coach and a business owner and a gym owner to care, in my opinion. When you drop that, I mean, I have yet to see what other entities is better than the CrossFit training. And I'm not saying this being biased and because I'm with you guys. I have yet to see it, It's, I mean, like Glassman was saying, if there was another method to make people fitter, like, rollerblade and hula hoop in your basement, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But that's not the case. It's not the case. So if you find something that teaches you better than what CrossFit training is doing, I mean, the 6 parameters of a coach, from teaching, seeing, correcting, and group management, presence, attitude, demonstration. I mean, if you can process just those 6 things as a coach, this is a fantastic tool. So, and to me, it comes with the affiliation. It's when you drop it, you don't see the importance of it anymore. And
I think and that kind of interestingly, I think ties into, for those who have followed the level 4 pathway, and I don't have any exact information, but there haven't been any new level 4 evaluations this year in 2025. My loose understanding is that more people were failing than was hopeful. And the goal is to set our trainers up for success. So thinking, hey, how can we do that? But if we look at it face value for a moment, if a lot of people are failing the level 4, maybe we're not applying the CrossFit thing as well as we could be, right? Again, instead of saying, hey, how can CrossFit help me pass the level 4? It's like, are we looking from within? So long-winded way of saying, for those who maybe are critical of affiliation, are they potentially doing the thing every day as well as they could be? or is it something that has a similar, like you can buy the off-brand perfumes or colognes from Walmart instead of actually Tommy Hilfiger? It smells like, right? We're doing something that smells like CrossFit, but is it actually a well-executed CrossFit class? Would be my question.
It's hard to say. That's hard to say because I don't feel they communicate amongst each other like we do, like affiliate owners do. Yeah, it's like a family, and then if they're out of the family, that doesn't mean they're the bad kid. That doesn't mean that. Like, I mean, the goal is to bring them back in eventually, but it's hard to say if it's guaranteed. I am sure some of them do a great job. I mean, where I am, it's not a bad job, but it won't last. It's going to be tough. I mean, how do you open yourself up to other practices? I mean, this is how we grew as a community, by talking with each other, by supporting the brand that would come back to us with how things were better done and what was tested in other places. And I mean, I would not want to take that route for the next 5 years. I mean, in 5 years, and I mean, in my opinion, that is a route with a wall that at some point they might hit. I hope not. I don't wish that to anybody, but I think as an affiliate owner, you have a better road in front of you, I think.
I view affiliation as a membership fee, except what we
Yeah.
belong to is this network, this community, the family, like you said, of affiliate owners within your local area, within your country, within the globe. And there's a cost, there's a membership fee involved in that. And if we think parallel to our members in our gyms, there are some people that will come to us and they'll just never really connect with the value of the community. And they're like, I can spend a few $1,000, put some equipment in my garage, and I can do these workouts by myself. And they'll cancel their membership because they just don't see the value in being a part of something with other people. And you're like, you know what? Fair enough. You can buy some equipment, you can follow online programming, and you'll probably get some results. We would argue not as much as you would if you were in a community with a coach. It's probably going to lack some technique and intensity, et cetera, but maybe not. Maybe, like you said, just because they're on their own doesn't mean they're the bad kid or the black sheep of the family. But some people just don't see the value in it. And they're like, I can do this by myself. And I feel like there's businesses, fitness businesses, affiliates or otherwise, that just don't see the value in being a part of this kind of community. And probably because they've never put themselves out there to engage with it through the events that we have, through the roundtables we have, listening to podcasts like this, connecting with other affiliate owners, coming to the in-person events, going to the CrossFit Games, frequently retaking seminars and education. And we're the best when we're together in person. And that to me is the value. And that's why, as far as I'm concerned, with all the information I have at the time, I will always be a CrossFit affiliate, is because I want to be connected to you guys, because it's valuable to me to say that I have an affiliation with this community. And I've said this on other podcasts before. I don't want to fight a battle against chronic disease by myself. I don't want to be out here on this little island in Saskatoon alone, feeling like I'm fighting this battle against laziness and processed food and all this bullshit out there. It's like, I want to know that I'm fighting the battle here, but that Mike is doing his thing in Montreal, and Karianne is doing her thing, Kevin's doing his thing, and Matt's doing his thing. And you're like, okay, we're like, as much as we're geographically dispersed, we're in this together. And that's a much more reassuring feeling than feeling like I'm out here fighting a battle by myself.
And I feel that we can also inspire the younger guys that are coming up, like those new affiliate owners. Like, there's a reason why they affiliate, and then they have the same fire, if not bigger than ours, when we were, like, we were discovering CrossFit as CrossFit was evolving, like, and now in 2025, it's there, it's present. So they must have like a fantastic reason. They have understood something. So if we inspire them to even get better, like through Hustle Up there, we do the demos and stuff to show the platform. And before we talk about the platform, we just talk about how they're doing. And it's insane how cool they're doing. It's fun. It's fun to exchange, best practices and just chit chat about, the future and how they're going to be doing things. And then all of a sudden, on a random Thursday afternoon, you receive a text, "Hey, thank you. What you said worked." And I'm like, wow, it's awesome. It's not just about knees out and chest up. It's also helping others in other cities that you've never been. It's crazy. It's super cool, and that is because we're part of this family thing, you know. And I like that.
I'll take it
It's
to
precious.
another viewpoint, and the metrics speak for themselves. So every month I get a Google performance email, and it's the top search keywords for people that are coming to our gym. And CrossFit is in 2 of those search terms. As long as CrossFit stays in those search terms, it's paying for itself. That's why people are coming to us. It's not just like weight loss center or fitness near me. They're specifically searching out CrossFit because that name now means something.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't mean anything back in 2008 because it was just me running around Moncton telling people about this crazy thing. Hey, meet me in the playground at 5:00 on Thursday night, and I'll take you through a cool workout. Like, that was it. But now people just know. They know what CrossFit stands for. They know what it's about, and they're searching it out. So that's where there's a lot of value in that. And I don't think people are putting all of their time, effort, and energy into promoting it because it's already done. It's there. It's there for you. You just have to accept it.
Well,
And
Kevin, no, you go ahead, Ketty.
I would add that the people that dropped their affiliation, they're still paying Google words for CrossFit most of the time because they know that that's what's driving their website. And the other thing that they would say is like, oh, CrossFit is scary for people. And then I'm like, okay, well, what do you think that people are going to write on Google to find you? And they're just like, well, I'm like, yeah, that's it. So people might be scared of CrossFit, but that's the word that they know. So they're still going to write that down and they're still going to find your gym. So like, and I don't think that it's true that people are still scared of CrossFit. I think it's a very like good excuse for people that want to drop the affiliation because I never seen so much of a wide demographic of people doing CrossFit right now as seeing so many gyms doing CrossFit Kids, moms for at CrossFit, and then seniors that it's going crazy.
Seniors is
I'm
like
I don't think that
wave
is
right now.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. So I'm like, I don't think people are actually scared of CrossFit. I think they just don't want to use it anymore. So,
In
go ahead, Matt.
2025, it's hard to be scared of CrossFit. I mean, in 2011, you know, we did not know programming or nothing. And so people would walk in the gym at like, you know, 3:30 before the 4 p.m. class and see the coaches train and do thrusters at 135 and be like, oh my God, these guys are like, and we were like, you know, like shirtless, full of chalk. And, you know, it was like, that was scary. That was like, we were, you know, then we understood that we needed to turn the music down, not be sweaty to welcome members, and then show them that we could scale everything for them, adapt everything. And then our moms and dads came in. And now in 2025, if you're scared about CrossFit, you are misinformed, really misinformed.
I always lament every now and then in a class to say, like, you know, for those who were around in 2014 or before, I was like, you guys don't know what a class was like. Coach would walk around and be like, fuck you, that's a no rep, do better. And like, and you would squat as low as you could and stand up as hard. But man, we got so fit so fast. It's like, you don't realize how fast the results came because it was just like a whip and going from there. But so
there were more pictures of ripped hands back then than now. I mean, come on.
So I want to switch gears slightly, but then also like back to kind of the topic of conversation is like some sort of change of ownership in CrossFit. And so all of us, the 5 of us here, one of the connecting themes is we were all around during the first ever change of ownership for CrossFit that happened in 2020. Curious in any way, like first emotions, whoever wants to go first, maybe first emotions, but then like, how did you handle it? What did you notice, if anything, you know, from there?
I was upset to see Glassman go. Personally, I was upset. I don't know much of Greg Glassman, but I was lucky enough to meet him in 2011 or 10 with Reebok, and I mean, I was upset. I mean, obviously we all make mistakes, and that tweet wasn't maybe the best thing, but um, I was upset when he sold it. I was like, oh, something something's switching. But I wouldn't be able to tell you what exactly was switching, but it felt like coach not being there was like, okay, shoot, who's going to lead, you know? And the change after that was, I mean, didn't change much for me, but I wanted to. I mean, when he sold, I would have wished to have more news from him. How was he doing? What was he doing? And
Sure.
no, I mean, but
So that personal connection was, or not personal, because there quite literally wasn't a personal connection, but it was just, he spoke in a manner that people listened and
Yeah.
whatnot. So, but it's interesting there is like, first feelings are like, I'm lamenting that the person is gone, but from a business standpoint, nothing changes in a way.
no, not really.
That
I
was
mean,
all going down the weekend we were reopening after the COVID shutdown. So we were
Mhm.
panicking about setting up our gym and spacing and taping lines in the middle of like opening your phone, and the internet is going crazy and the tweet was happening and the black squares. And you're like, I don't have time to even like pay attention to what's
Yeah.
happening. I just
Yeah.
have to take care of my little community right now and make sure, that people don't get COVID when they come back to work out and all that. So the stress was high at the time where, I mean, COVID was a stressful time period. And then there was all the protests happening, and then Greg's getting canceled, and we're trying to reopen the gym. And every week it felt like was some new regulation thing that we had to stay on top of. And it felt like a lot. I'll say like that was a very stressful time. And to lose our charismatic leader in the midst of all that chaos, I don't know if it was better or worse, because maybe we were just so conditioned to handle constant change and total chaos through the whole COVID time anyway. Well, whatever,
Mhm.
here's another one, let's go. But I feel like now if we made it through that, and then the change of leadership, and Rosa and Dave gets fired, Dave comes back, and then new CEO and all that. And it's like through all of that, now I feel super chill about whatever happens with who owns CrossFit. I was like, because
Yeah.
it'll be fine. My business was fine. Barely any of my members even knew what was going on, let alone were affected by it. So whatever happens in the wider world of ownership and leadership and structure, it's going to change almost nothing about the day-to-day at my affiliate. I don't know if you guys feel the same.
I
Yeah.
agree. I've been around for the Black Box Summit, the NSCA scandals, the
Yep.
previous leadership changes, the firing of Russell Berger, like all of those things. There's certain people that are loud mouths within the community, and but in my affiliate, there is exactly 0 people that know that CrossFit's currently being sold. None of them know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Who cares? It doesn't change anything. We're still going to keep coming. We're still going to show up every day. We're still going to open the doors. We're still going to do thrusters and pull-ups, and people are going to get fit. And that's the bottom line. There's nothing else
Mhm.
going to change it. So like Mike said, I was sad when Glassman left. It felt like we kind of lost a North Star. Like that was
Mhm.
kind of our guiding light a little bit. But, and like Jocelyn said, going through COVID was a shit show. And if you can survive that, any CrossFit gym that survived COVID, nothing that happens now can derail us.
Yeah.
We're more
Yeah.
solid now than ever. The gyms that remained are the most resilient gyms that have ever existed. Not just CrossFit, gyms globally. We are the
Mhm.
most resilient ones out there, and we will continue to be those guiding lights for people. So I don't see this sale as changing anything in our atmosphere.
No, I agree.
Teddy, and what was it like for you that time frame? As the smile goes up, okay.
Yeah. So we actually, like, when the change happened and everything, Michelle was still an owner with me at DICA, so she wanted to not be affiliated with CrossFit anymore. She kind of felt like she needed to stand up and do kind of a statement of like something needs to change, because where CrossFit is going, it's not going to be something that I'm going to be proud of. And she knew that her name was very, very like close to CrossFit. So I didn't really had my word to say, since it was like a little bit more her decision. And obviously, like you said, like there was COVID, and I was a mom of 2 babies under 2. So I was just like, okay, whatever you think is better, we'll do. I was more operation and she was more managing. And during that year, I felt completely lost in terms of like, I was the one operating with the coaches, selling and everything. And I just didn't know what we were actually doing. And I kept asking her like, well, we're not doing CrossFit. So what the hell am I selling? Like, what's going on? So I wasn't really like happy with that, just in terms of like, I felt like I was a fraud. And it's really not like in my DNA. Like, I'm a very, very loyal person. But at the same time, because we did that and we kind of de-affiliate, which was like for 6 months, but because Michelle de-affiliated, that's where they kind of, well, I don't think that because of Michelle, but because a lot of gym were like, we're not happy, things are not going our way, whatever, they kind of started to have country manager, because they realized that in France, they already had a country manager, in Spain, Italia, and the country manager was more there because of the language barrier and not because like they actually needed one. It was literally just because of language, and it was starting over there. And they kind of realized that those countries didn't get hit as much because they had someone that affiliate owners could talk to, and all the countries that didn't have a country manager, like there was a lot of people that left because of that. So they realized that the field leader was something that should be happening in every country, so that if something with the management like happen, well, people are not just like lost and completely like in their like own, on their own. So Paul Tremblay was the country manager at the time, so they kind of put the title in, and he got the job. And probably the first call he made was Michelle, because he was like, why are you not paying your affiliation this year? Like, what's going on? And they had a really good talk, and I felt like Michelle, just to have actually someone to talk to and be like, hey, this can happen. And she was more upset with the game side as well, and she still is, but like that's a work in progress. But it's just like there was so much that she was upset about and nobody to talk to, that when the country manager happened, she was like, well, at least they're doing something, well, at least they're understanding that affiliate owners, they need someone to guide them, they need someone to go to. So I feel like the changing of ownership and like all of this still brought a lot of good things, because right now, like when I first started with Paul for CrossFit Canada, I think we were like 8 country managers, and now like I can't even get the numbers out of like how many we are. So I feel like that was a good change, because then we started doing summits and roundtables and like bringing back the affiliates together, which was not something that was done before. So maybe not like in our regular day as an affiliate owner in our gym, it didn't change that much. But at the same time, like for me, juggling with both roles, I saw that the community was getting closer and closer, and people were actually getting back to talking to each other, because COVID, we were just like spreading out and like everybody's on their own. And then we kind of slowly got people to talk to each other again and have that confidence in the brand that, yes, maybe it's not led the way that you want, but there's still the same people in it, like doing the same thing that you are. And so I feel like the changing of ownership brought that like field leaders in, which was a good thing. And obviously I would really like that the people that will buy CrossFit will put that role is like that, will understand that that role is very important, and not just because like I want to say my job is really not it. It's just I really feel like knowing that you can just talk to someone that is doing the same exact same thing as you is very, very valuable for everyone we know in that industry. So I don't think that affiliate owners should wait to see who's buying CrossFit to renew or not, because if they really like enjoy CrossFit and that they believe in the methodology and stuff, they should just continue. But at the same time, we can still hope that it's going back to the roots and like just keeping caring about our affiliate and what they're doing on a daily basis. So
Yeah.
that would definitely help for sure.
We
I
have
don't know,
a
but
sorry, Mike. We have a t-shirt. We sold a t-shirt that said "Nobody cares, work harder," and it just became like an unwritten like kind of mantra. Like when you look at almost like an analogy of like rep shavers in a class, and you could be like, oh, they're shaving reps. They're not, it's and get frustrated and focus on that. But nobody cares if you work harder than them anyway. Then just all you have to do is worry about yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't realize, like, by creating a culture of just focusing on yourself, even in a workout setting, that everyone wins, because that stuff now starts to go away. Not everyone's pointing their fingers elsewhere. So I feel like we as affiliate owners, yes, we all work very hard, but all these things, like, who's going to buy CrossFit? It's like, nobody cares. Just work harder.
Mm-hmm.
Serve your people more. Mike, you were going to say something.
I was going to say, I don't know about you guys, but every time I see CrossFit with the flag Canada and then CAN, I'm actually very proud of this. I mean, look at this. Like, I'm super proud of it. Like, I mean, I went to the French Throwdown and I saw CrossFit Spain and CrossFit Italy, and good for them. I'm from Canada, and so like it's having country manager is like it's more than a job. It's a job for leading. And Karianne, that's what you're doing. You're leading the pack without telling any owner what to do. We're there to advise them or guide them towards the best practices that they may need. And so we need positions like that. Like even before the sale, we were like, it has to be like the Olympic Committee. We need to have something. I mean, I remember talking to, I forgot who, but like in 2015, like imagine if CrossFit was like that, where we had like something that would represent CrossFit in each country. That would be so cool. And when that logo came up, I'm like, wow, like it's amazing. This has to stay. It'll evolve, I believe. And I hope that, we were talking about it, Matt, on the podcast, but whoever buys CrossFit needs to come with huge care. This is the values that we all had at the beginning, and that's what we need to focus on through CrossFit Canada, CrossFit training, education, and it'll be like that. But for that, we need to just keep going, and affiliate owners need to renew, and new affiliate owners need to come and never doubt CrossFit. If we don't doubt, nobody should doubt. I mean, honestly, like we're there since the beginning, and it's we have seen, like Kevin was saying, we've seen it all pretty much. It's I mean, a pandemic. We're still there, and that's the proof that it works, and that's the proof it's the best job ever. I just saw a little podcast where the guys were saying in the 70s, it wasn't about how much money you made out of your job. It was how cool is your job. Can you make a living out of it? Yes, I can. And so what else do you need? I mean, and if how cool is our job? It's the coolest job ever. Like people say it's teachers. I think it's teachers, but coaches are like, this is like our mission. I'm sure all of you, I'm sure you've tried for a member because they told you you solved their lives. I mean, this feeling is, I wouldn't be happy to live my life without having a feeling that I cannot help somebody. And that is because of what CrossFit is doing, what CrossFit is evolving, and because there are country managers and CrossFit Canada, and it has to continue. It'll evolve, and I hope, Karianne, you get the help you need and the means you need to do more. I hope this happens.
So
I think the big takeaway I had through the whole COVID and change of leadership and when Greg left was like, CrossFit's in our hands now. And we all those things you just said, Mike, we understand the value and the magic and how impactful it is. And one way or another, there was going to be a change of generation. There's going to be a change of leadership. Greg's getting close to 70 years old. Regardless of how that went down, CrossFit was going to have a handoff into the next generation. And that in the absence of one single leader and sort of what this thing was, Greg created the methodology and then he just put it out there into the world. It's open source fitness technology. Do with it what you want. And that if it's going to stay magical and it's going to make its way into the next generation, that's on all of us now. And in that moment where we felt untethered and Greg left and the world's going insane, and all of a sudden, like, I feel like I had this moment of look left and look right, and you realize no one's coming to save us, that it's us now. And I happened to get hired on seminar stuff right through all of that chaos. And I was like, okay, this is my job. This is literally my job now, is to go teach this methodology to other people to make sure that it makes its way into the next generation. And what they do with this fitness technology is still TBD. We're a couple decades into this thing. We got really enamored with how fit could a person be on one day, like CrossFit game style fitness, but that's just one tiny thread of what comes off of constantly varied functional movement at high intensity, meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some for a little starch, no sugar, right? Like, look at all the things people are doing with it, training kids, training elderly people, using it as addiction treatment. All of these different ways we can apply this fitness technology. The games is fun and cool and fun to watch, but that's like one tiny little aspect of it. How much of an influence could we have in families? How could we change a whole community? How could we change the quality and length of an older person's life? There's so many threads still open that have just barely been explored. So when we go to the affiliate summits and there's the new affiliate owners there, I love talking to them. I love the enthusiasm and the ideas. And I come back all jazzed up, you know, from talking to them, because that newness, I hope I never lose that enthusiasm. As long as I have my affiliate, I always want to have a little sparkle of that, like, heck yeah, let's do this, ready to run through a brick wall to like change the world with this methodology, you know?
Yeah. Carrie Ann does a great job of running the roundtables at all of our summits, you know, and it's really cool to, like, especially like Banff, it was like, even in Toronto, first thing you do, you get there, like, while your coffee's flowing, sit down and let's chat. It would be interesting to say, like, okay, for the next, you're each going to get 2 minutes now. What's something you can do for CrossFit for the next year? It would be just interesting to see, like, what would that response be? Because I'm sure some people will be like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And others might be like, well, what do you mean? But if it's a simple kind of positive thought exercise to be like, well, what are 2 things I could do for CrossFit for the next 2 years or for the next year? So with that,
sorry, I was muted. But I like that, Matt.
Okay,
taking it noted.
We're gonna talk about that in Toronto, in Collingwood, September. Come one, come all. So what, in kind of thinking about wrapping things up in the sense that, who knows? Like I said, I'm gonna get this out on the Friday. Would be Friday, whatever number that is, 27th. I want to hear from we'll go back around the table. What's something cool and unique that you're doing in your affiliate this summer, or Mike, for you, a personal project that you're doing cool in your affiliate this summer that is not going to change regardless of whatever announcement gets made, as Carrie Ann gets the lights turned out on her. So, and if anyone, so Jocelyn, are you guys doing any cool summer projects this summer at Brio?
You know, we kind of had this realization that our summer projects, unique to this time of year, revolving quite a bit around kids and students. So summer camps, getting kids active. We did a high school student add-on. So lots of our regular members now, we're just growing old together. So all our kids are in high school. So getting the kids in the affiliate, like everything we know about how magical CrossFit is, let's make sure the next generation understands that too. So we have a whole cohort of people's teenagers that are, you know, maybe off their regular training for the summer that are going to get fit with us. We're sponsoring university student scholarships. So we start taking applications through the summer. We sponsor 8 university students, ideally in healthcare related fields, but anything where they want to change the world, we'll sponsor their memberships for them to, you know, get fit and do a better job, show up as a better human for their mission. So I think our summer projects revolve around that. And kids, students, the future, forging the future of fitness.
When you do the kids camp, the first day, you make sure to start off with explaining the leadership structure of the CrossFit HQ organization, right?
Here's who the CEO is.
That's what's really important. Yeah, who's the CEO, who's the CEO, because that's the important information, right?
Exactly.
Mike, what's some projects you guys have going on at Hustle Up or for you personally?
Well, they're very tight. The day I go to work, I'll quit my job. So I like to do that. I'm blessed to be working with Hustle Up because of the care values they have and the integrity they have. I'm still discovering the team that I'm working with, and so that's what's fun. We're partners with CrossFit, so we're going to be at the CrossFit Games, and just super eager to do that. We're a team of 5 only going there with all the developers working behind our back, and it's going to be great. The, the fun things is that we bring the care to affiliate owners or to athletes. Hello. And so that's what I'm excited about, because lucky, I feel very blessed to do what I'm doing, and to help out owners, coaches, and through CrossFit is just unbelievable. So that's my summer, and it'll be quite busy.
And Hustle Up's a main sponsor of the first ever coaches and affiliate conference happening before the games, right?
Absolutely, on the Wednesday and the Thursday, and we're welcoming all the athletes on the Tuesdays. There's more things and more stuff that we're going to be doing, such as the party for everybody there. But it's really showing that CrossFit is going to be great and still great, and that it's going to evolve in the right direction, and the right direction will be dictated by the owners, because we will care about them. It is time that we listen to them even more. And I mean, so far the people that Hustle Up are doing the right things, in my opinion. The integrity is quite high over there, and I like that a lot. So I have nothing to lose trying to make it better, even, and so express myself in positivity. And I don't know, it's going to be a great summer, and I believe I hope to see you guys at the CrossFit Games, by the way. So
I'll see you there.
I'll be there.
Yeah. And so that's my summer. It'll be exciting.
Kevin, what's some cool projects that's going on in Moncton this summer?
Well, we have one of our longtime coaches leaving. She took a job at McGill University. So we're going to have a send-off for her on July 5th, which coincides with our 17-year anniversary. So we're just going to have a big party at the gym. We've run a competition every year called the Hopper event. So we're going to just make it in-house, have everybody come together at the end of the workout. We'll have a big barbecue and a send-off, and that should be a fun time. I also started doing some volunteer firefighting, and I recently signed up for the FireFit competitions. So starting tomorrow night, I'm going to be helping one of the other senior members train the new guys on how to become more fit. And so it's my intention to inject the CrossFit methodology into their lives so that they can feel the difference.
Good for you, man.
And CrossFit Training just released a great webinar on first responders and firefighting using the CrossFit methodology. Kellyanne, what's happening over at DECA this summer?
So we have our day camp, like you saw my daughter. So day camp is here for 4 weeks. So we're doing a lot of the CrossFit with them and stuff like that. So definitely this is like a huge part in the gym, having kids all over the place. We always do a Fit-a-thon on August. And this is for raising money for Institut de Cardiologie de Montréal. So everything that is about heart. And why I'm doing like a Fit-a-thon, it's like 2K row, 10K bike erg, and then 5K run. To go and get people that are good at triathlon and bring them into the gym and make them understand that, yes, it's good that you're doing cardio, but there's something else that you have to do. And even for our people to kind of be, that they understand that, yes, that they understand that they are a little part of the community, taking care of their health every single day. So we kind of talk about all the cardiovascular disease and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to bring that awareness during summer. And obviously I'll be at the conference with CrossFit, and we were supposed to have a an affiliate meeting here at DICA July 5th or 6th, and there was just too many people that not in town, not there. So we pushed it back to October. So the next one will be at CrossFit Industry in September, and then the other one in October. So I don't know. I really like summer at the gym. Like I never take vacation at the gym. I feel like people are coming in at different random hours. They have more time to speak, more time to just hang out. So I really take like that time to connect more with them and just chill and do like extra abs work outside and stuff like that, just because I feel people less stressed, and it's kind of the time I love the most to make sure that they're doing okay and that everything's going fine. So yeah, that's going to be our summer here. What about you, Matt?
Well, we are in day 4 of a 6-week nutrition challenge, of which we had 58 people sign up for. So Coach Heather, our little firecracker, who's maybe an inch shorter than Jocelyn, who Heather got to meet, or Jocelyn got to meet. But we're doing a thing called Hot Girl Summer. And one thing that CAP has done a really great job of, for those who follow CrossFit affiliate programming, is they actually announced when roughly the girl benchmarks were being tested and retested. It's all on your affiliate toolkit, right? Yes, the unknown and unknowable is very cool, but to know that Kelly is being retested in November. So what I did was I took the list of all the benchmarks we tested in Q1 of the year, well, Q1, Q2, and said, here's all of them that are getting retested in the fall. And so we had everyone, not everyone, whoever wanted to participate, pick one of the benchmarks, and we just put their names on a wall of just here's who's retesting Fran, 3-rep front squat, Kelly, Grace. And it's just there so we can kind of say, hey, I'm keeping myself committed for the summer. I'm going to find a little balance, but also know that I'm going to see if I can continue with this thing, that I have something to retest in the fall and keep my focus that way. And like I said, that's a new resource that's been introduced by CAP, and kudos to them for being able for us to kind of plan these types of things. And these are the stuff that are in the affiliate resources that I wonder if people know exist, but we digress. So, and
thank you for putting that out, Matt.
yeah, we can all say the things Tyrion wants to say. And before, as my dad always said, a closed mouth gathers no foot. So before we get too far down, anyone have any closing thoughts? Kind of, 60 seconds each type deal. Not that it formally has to be that, but first one, go. Anyone?
Well, I would say the future is brilliant, and we need to keep that. The more you tell something to yourself, and the more you repeat it, finally you're going to believe it. So just like we were talking, stay positive, keep the focus on your real mission, write it down. Within those 60 seconds, one of my former members told me one day, what's your mission? And I said, well, it's to change people's life. I'm like, Mike, that's not a good mission. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because it's the mission of everybody. It's like, find this mission, but be more precise. 2 days later, I came back and I said, my mission is to educate people how to be better. And he's like, there you go. You're not going to change them. You're just going to educate them on how to be better. And so if we focus on our mission, and if we focus on the future will be brilliant, then we will make it, because that's how this community got so big. That's how this community is super positive and super together. We have a bond that we can still get stronger, and I think that's the way we need to think and move forward, by thinking the future will be brilliant because of us.
If there's one of the 6 affiliate owners listening to this and they want to reach out to me, I'm happy to help bounce ideas off of, or just be an ear to anybody that needs to listen to. I've had plenty of help and support over the years, and I'm more than willing to be that support or help for anybody that needs it. So
I'd say CrossFit's in good hands because it's in our hands. I asked, like Matt said at the Banff Affiliate Summit, Daniel Chaffee, I was like, what can each of us do? I can't control who buys CrossFit, but I can control in my sphere. What should I focus on? And he said leadership. And I've been thinking about that word a lot. So if we just focus on better leadership in our communities and our sphere of influence, so that means, you know, setting a good example, digging into education, showing up as a better coach with more care, making sure we demonstrate the lifestyle of our fitness and our nutrition and help other people, you know, become better coaches and better athletes and better humans, that's what we can control. And that's where we'll have the most influence to make CrossFit better.
Mhm. Well said.
I would say don't let society think that things are better when you're doing it alone. And like, don't be afraid to be part of something bigger and talk to people and ask questions. I feel like CrossFit, like everybody's talking about CrossFit in the community, but they're very good inside their gym and not outside of their gym. So for me, like the challenge I would tell affiliate owners, it's like this summer when you go to a CrossFit competition, like go and actually speak to another affiliate owner and you'll see you'll probably get back to your gym happier with more ideas and like fulfilled with that discussion. So I think that society is telling us to do a lot of things alone and be alone and like are on our own on our phones and stuff, but like get out there, talk to people that are doing the same thing as you, and you'll see that CrossFit is pretty much alive more than what we see on like Instagram and stuff. So just talk to real people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like exactly, and the energy that you put into it is going to be what you'll get out of it. You know, I like Rich, greatest of all time, Rich Froning. You look at like what Mayhem has achieved this year, just from a promotional standpoint, and it's because he's, instead of going a certain direction, he's like, how can I go all in on this CrossFit thing? And it's working, and man, do they look like they're having fun. And it's like, it's not easy, but if you just went all in on being as positive and as like doing the thing as much as you can, man, you just might accidentally have some fun along the way. And at that case, who cares who buys CrossFit? Because you will still get to have your fun. And on that note, 3, 2, 1.